All right. Let's see. We're inking up some Elric right here of Malnibone. Just doing a little like kind of jam piece of a bunch of things that are going on in this world. Probably gonna draw maybe a few more dragonflies. Yeah, and I gotta get back to reading these books, man. Really cool stuff. Really cool stuff. Especially now that I've listened to all the audiobooks. And I bought these books years ago. I think a few of them I got for Christmas actually. Makes me wonder. I wonder if Stormbringer is actually the story of Stormbringer. I don't think it is though. I think it's earlier in the actual story. Yeah. The Dreaming City. This is how long ago I got it. The Dreaming City was just coming out, and I think they're on book 5 now. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, this is the first one. That's the third one. No, that's the second one. That's the third one. And I didn't want to read these because after I had read the first one, I liked the book and I thought the character was cool, but I didn't. He was just too. His race was just too evil for me. I wanted him to go back and eradicate his entire race, and that's pretty much what he did. So I couldn't really hate on it. Hey, what's up, Genuine Comics? How you doing, man? Good morning. I'm doing good, man. It's actually like 11 o'clock for me, and it's my Saturday night, so I figure I come on here and try to knock out as much as I can on this Elric piece right here. Just doing a piece that's just inspired by Elric. I wanted to do something where he wasn't wearing the badass like metal armor, He's always wearing that shit. Everyone always, when they do the fan art or the art, he's always wearing that. And I think he looks the coolest in this armor, don't get me wrong, but I wanted to do something a little more piratey, a little more piratey and murked out when he's doing his murk stuff. Just having fun. And then usually when I like draw a character, I kind of like to have a little fun with it. And then when I go back to it later, I'm going to probably do like a straight up scene out of one of the stories. Just to kind of get used to the character a little. But yeah, thanks for stopping by, man. I appreciate everyone stopping by. But yeah, go check out the Elric books if you haven't picked them up. They're from Titan, man. Titan is just killing it, man. They put out excellent stuff. It's hardback too. I think I got this for like $15. I've always been into like the look of Elric, and I had got these books a long time ago, and I read the first one and I thought it was kind of cool, but I just didn't like the character of the world that much because I thought it was too evil. And I figured, I'll read the books first, or I'm going to give it a wait. And then I don't have time to read the books, and I saw the audiobooks on YouTube, so I listened to the audiobooks, and I actually like Elric. And I'm like, oh yeah, I can't wait to go back and read these comics. Now, it's a tragic story though, a really tragic character. But from my understanding, Moorcock he's still writing Elric stuff. So I just read listened to the first initial run. About to drink a beer or two, and right now I'm probably going to attempt to draw some dragonflies. When are you going to put out your centaur, man? I'm looking forward to that character. I'm going to have to draw him too. Yeah, he's one of the barbarians that I gotta draw. Looks fun to draw. There's just some characters that look fun, like Elric's one of them, Conan. Yeah, like you're saying to the quote, no prophecies, no chosen ones, something like that, no fallen gods, some shit like that. I'm like, yeah, that's fucking pretty based, pretty down to earth too, I like that. Ravik, that's what it is, Ravik. Genuine Comics is putting out a book called Ravik. He's like a centaur barbarian. I'm sure he's a lot more than that, but I mean, just from judging by appearances. I'm gonna do some more rocks down here. Oh, hey, the Ravik book is tough. I have the story set, but finding the right artist is an ongoing quest. I can understand, man. You might even think of getting two artists that are how do you put it, that are like interchangeable, that are really good. Because there's some people that could do that shit. Who's doing the Punisher artist has the Punisher book right now. I know it's Marvel, but they have two pencilers and two inkers, and it's hard to really tell who is which. Like it's that fucking good. And back in the day, like they used to have studios where people were, where they had a team where they were just knocking shit out, And it's something to think about. I mean, I know. And the thing is, too, the guy that's drawing, one of the artists that's drawing the new Punisher is Sergio Davia, and he did Conan for Dark Horse. He did the Slayer series right before it got canceled. I like his artwork. It's fucking badass. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, it's hard, dude. I'm sure you want to do like a pretty decent sized book too, probably like 30 or 40 pages, right? You just got to find the right artist, man. You will. It's a cool looking character. Someone's gonna want to draw that. I mean, and then want to get him to commit to it, Maybe you can just, yeah, that sucks. That sucks, man. I understand. Even I'd say like have him start knocking out some pages, but then he or she might bounce out, and it's rough. It is rough. Yeah. But then again, that's another thing too. Yeah. The only thing, it's like you think like, well, is there any parts in the book that are like done in flashback? Maybe I can have another artist do the flashbacks, but that's in a similar style, and I can change the color palette, and it won't, that way you can kind of get some of the book going. And if that person flakes, at least you have that stuff, and it won't affect it too much. Like there's a lot of things to think about, and I know how artists are. We're a finicky bunch, but I am looking forward to that book, man. I hope you'll get your artist. Was it Adam Goldman? He's really good, man. He's really good. But fantasy, like it seems like that character would be like a fun thing, like a lot of artists would want to draw, But it's hard locking people down for a while sometimes. Let's see here. Yeah, it's a big story. I'm pretty particular on what style and vibe I want, and the artist needs to be able to go nuts with fantasy settings. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, they can be pretty hard too, and pretty specific, with what type of fantasy you're dealing with, and what type of art style, and what type of architecture, and all that stuff, I really like what they're doing with the new Cole story with Titan Comics. They got this concept artist in there that they've been working with for like, I think 2 or 3 years now, for sure 2 years, just to design Volusia so it doesn't look like Hyboria. It's got to be, they got to look different, and Cole can't look like Conan, bro. He just got to look a little different, because they look very, very similar most of the time. Like if next time I draw Cole, when I draw him in my style, I'm gonna draw him like taller, dude. He's gonna be like the Undertaker, Kane size. At least 6'11", dude. Really lanky. And that was always like what I wanted him to look like. But going back and reading like, what is it? I forgot the name of the book. The one where he goes back in time and meets Brad McMorn. They described him as he's just as tall as like the gigantic Northman, or maybe even bigger, or something like that. Kings of the Night. That's the story. Yeah, so he's pretty big, dude. Cole's pretty big. I'd say he's probably about the size of the Undertaker. I see Conan is like 6'4". I see Cole is like 6'11", 6'10". Let's see here. Hey, what's up, Skullgrin? Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Let's see. Genuine Comics. Most artists are good at superheroes, but different genres require different skills. Yeah, no, that makes sense, dude. 100%. It's a different gear you have to shift too when you start thinking about city stuff. You got to kind of just think differently too. You almost got to think smaller, even though it's scale. But you have to think like smaller and more details. And obviously the buildings are taller, but you got to kind of let your imagination be kind of little more boxed in when you're dealing with cities and stuff like that. But with fantasy, you can really let your imagination run wild, like you said. You know, and you could really think. You could think wider. You know, with superhero books, like kind of like New York or New York or China. You know, and then like for fantasy, you got to think like Los Angeles County, like it's wide and vast and filled with freeways. You know, but with the superhero books, you got to think of city, tall, high. You're dealing with vertigo, a lot of high stuff like that, a lot of alleys, a lot of cars, a lot of condensation, a lot of bricks. Hmm. Yeah, 100%, man. You definitely got to think differently. And certain artists, yeah, they really do excel at certain things, you know. And you can tell what they like drawing, you know. Like me, I hate drawing superhero stuff. I have to be in the mood to draw that. I like drawing fantasy and horror and um, barbarian shit, you know. But I like if I'm in the right mood, I want to draw some cities, some dirty fucking cities from like the New York and during like the '70s, dude. You know when like Manhattan was all dirty and grimy, you know, in the '70s. That's the type of shit I want to draw with like cop with the not cop but with car chases like Steve McQueen shit, dude. Like those old horror movies too, like New York Ripper. I want to draw comics like that, you know. You can see all the dirty like cans on the ground and rolled up papers, and you got the like all the nasty like porno theaters and shit all over the place, and dirty people. And then you got a vigilante going around like taking out the trash. That's the type of books that I'm gonna be doing hopefully one day. I have a couple characters like that. Then I got another one, and in the '90s too a little bit. I go there. I do that a little bit in Hell War, but I don't do too much. I don't spend too much time there. Not too much. Not too much. Hey, what's up, Willie? Oh, thanks, man. The Elric design. Yeah, I was just having fun with it, man. I wanted to just do my own thing, you know. I put like a female, a feminine eye in there, like it's like a bitch that's always screaming at him, like wanting someone's soul, you know. You know how they are, they like take your soul. And then I got an hourglass in there too for fun, and just some talons kind of coming out. And then I wanted it to be a claymore, so I wanted him to be able to grab the blade. You know, like if I was doing an Elric movie, I would have it would be a claymore, like full stop. I'd want to see Elric grabbing the blade from there and then switching back to the hand. You know, you get a tall, skinny actor like Lee Pace. That's probably who I'd get. Then I'd starve him a little bit. What's up, Willie? Trash gets taken out. Turds get flushed. Yeah, man. Yeah, the anime big ass swords. How you doing, dude? Dad, thanks for stopping by. Awesome one, you too. Yeah, all you guys, man. It's good to be on a night stream for once. I normally do the morning streams. I might do a morning one tomorrow, but I'm trying to do more night streams too. I've been working all week. I put down a lot of overtime. I think I worked 73 hours in 5 days. So it was pretty much the longest work week I've ever done in my life. It was pretty long. I'm gonna probably do a little. I'm gonna go do a little bit of this. I'll mess with this a little bit. I might have to add and subtract some things from far away. Hey, Drawn Sword, what's up, dude? Got a little bit of meat on out. Yeah, he was even bigger, dude. I made him even bigger. I had to take a little off. I had to shave some of the muscle off of him, man, because that's what makes the character fun. You know, I definitely wanted to make him ripped, bro. Like I wanted him to look like Brandon Lee, but taller. And I think he's funner when he's skinnier and he has clunky boots. I think the thigh highs work a lot on him, you know, and baggier pants because he's so thin. But I want to see the rib cage like bulging out. I want to see the six pack. You know, I want to see the long sinewy biceps. I can't wait for that fucking Conan cartoon though, man. That's gonna be fantastic. Aren't you guys excited for that? I haven't seen you in a while, Drawn Sword. Probably because I've been going on earlier. You're usually up the late stream. I forgot about that. Yeah. Need to get some more white out pretty soon. Let's see. I finished my Crom story, bro. Or I'm sorry, I finished my Crom chapter, all the art for it. So now I'm working on. I've taken my prose and then I'm adapting it into a comic book format, and I'm working on chapter 2. And chapter 2 has like no action in it, bro, and it's like 9 pages long. So I'm like, I got to restructure. I'm in there editing it. So if you're doing an anthology for like 3 or 4 years, you want your story to end. You got to have some action in there. So I'm having to slow some of the shit down and add some stuff. I don't want the story to end on a fucking action packed, but because the first chapter I made, it's pretty packed with action, dude. It's got a lot of action in it. Let's see how long we have to wait for, Willie. How long we have to wait for this Conan cartoon? I'm thinking 2 years. I'm thinking about a year and a half to 2 years from now. So I'm thinking summer 2028. That's my guess. I have no idea when it's going to happen. I have no information, but I'm just guessing. He's been working on just story alone for a year. And you know that he's been working on this for 20 years for fun, probably. Just kicking shit around in his head, right? He's a big Howard Stan like us. So, and then animation's a mofo. It takes forever unless they're going to be using some computer stuff. I'm thinking 2 years. That's just my guesstimation. JC, thanks for stopping by. This is so gangster. Thank you. I appreciate you. Doodad, would you draw Blade character? Yeah, sure. Yeah, I was actually talking to my son right now, and we were talking about like who would fight who, and we were talking about Null, and I was telling him how Null is a kind of a ripoff of Elric but he's still fucking cool, you know. He's a ripoff of Elric, but he's a badass. Like he's basically like he's like Lucifer, a Lucifer within Marvel. And he's like, but what about Doomsday, Dad? Do you think Doomsday? Or what about Thanos? And I'm like, nah, he'll whoop Thanos' ass. And I'm like, he's like, what about Doomsday, Dad? And I'm like, yeah, he'll probably whoop Doomsday's ass too. And I'm like, let me check. And then I Googled it because I don't know every like thing about Doomsday, but I forgot that he just keeps changing. He keeps evolving into what defeated him prior. And they're saying that Doomsday could hold his own against fucking Null. So I was like, okay, I'm going to have to draw that then. Doomsday versus Null and throw up a poll. I think that would be a fun thing to draw. What's up, Zon Kids? Thanks for stopping by. Drawn Sword, sorry guys. Yeah, man, I remember you saying that Primal guy should be doing Conan. And what do you know? Yeah, everybody wanted it, man. Everybody wanted it. My name is Spear, the Primal guy. Yeah. And he's, Spear and Fang is Robert E. Howard's first story that he ever submitted to Weird Tales. It was a Stone and Sorcery, Stone and Sorcery is what I call Sword and Sorcery. That's got cavemen. Willie, damn, looks like I gotta quit smoking and drinking again so I live long enough to see it. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. That's a good choice. Drinking is nothing. There ain't nothing spectacular about smoking and drinking, It's just sometimes you get that taste on your tongue when people were fucking doing it around you, but it ain't nothing special, man. I remember my grandpa, they told him he had 1 year left to live, and he quit smoking and he lived 10 more years after that, But yeah, that sucks, man. Doodad, kind of updated version. Sorry, late. Let's see, Doodad. It's not too late, little girl. Don't cry. Yeah. Yeah, it's all good, man. But yeah, I'm working on this. I'm looking forward to that Primal or that Conan show. I'm more excited for that TV show, that cartoon, than the Arnold movie, because I know it's going to be more faithfully adapted, right? So we'll see. I'll have to come back and fix that a little bit. All right. Let's get in here and draw some more of this right here. Yeah, I don't really drink as much either. I'm gonna have some beers tonight though, man. Fair warning. I'm probably gonna have 1 or 2 beers. But yeah, I don't really drink that much anymore. Just because it's not really, and alcohol sales are down. The whole globally, alcohol is down $850 million Global alcohol sales are down $850 billion. That's billion. So people are not drinking as much as they used to because of health reasons and because of the economy as well. And the modern generations, they don't drink as much for those reasons. It's pretty wild. Yeah. But me, yeah, I'm gonna have a beer every now and then. Most definitely. Everything in moderation, you know. A beer, what is it? A beer or like a 6-pack a month isn't gonna really kill you, I don't think. But sometimes for some of us, it's better just to quit, you know. Full stop. It's just better. Let's see, backyard stills are through the roof in Oz. Oh, really? I bet. The distilleries? Yeah. My grandpa, he was a cotton farmer. He came here from Arkansas and worked for General Motors for 30 years. And he was smoking and drinking that whole time. And then he quit drinking, and then the doctor told him that thing about the smoking. So then the smoking came after. But yeah, you know, you get used to it. I know a guy that had some lung problems. He had lung surgery not too long ago, and he used to smoke bud. He smoked dope every day, and now he can't smoke dope no more. But he can eat the CBD. You know what I'm saying? You could drink some weed tea, bro, or you can take some CBD pills. There's other shit out there to do if you really want, you know. Drink some tea. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. You can go out there, put your feet in the grass, work out, start working out, go on runs or jogs or walks, whatever your body can handle. There's other shit you could do. Start drawing more, painting more, cooking more. Cooking's fucking fun. Reading, yeah, creating, painting, drawing, writing stories, hiking, playing sports. You just gotta fill yourself up with shit to do. Like have a bunch of like things to do every day when you wake up. Load your to-do list up every single day, and that'll keep you off the smokes. Oh, and you can chew gum for a little bit too, man. The gum helps a lot. Now I don't mean the Nicorette gum. I just mean regular gum. Just get some regular gum. Probably got a lot to do with the tax. Oh yeah, absolutely. Let's see here. Dronsword Tartovsky seems trustable, while Hollywood Conan movie seems possible ruin. Yeah. I mean, I hope it's just in line with the Milius, the first movie. I'm not really. Most people just want like a for the Arnie movie. Most people want like a proper Howard movie. I don't give a fuck. I just want it to be as good as the first movie, and keep it in that universe. Make it as good as that. Because to me, it's already a wash, bro. He's Milius Conan, you know? He's Uber Conan. You know what I'm saying? He's a little more Uber in some ways. Because he took Cole and Conan, put them together and shit. But I just want the movie to be good, bro. You know? And then after that, I'll be good on the Arnie movies. I don't want any more after that. I don't want to see an Arnie's Son of Conan. I don't want to see that either. Hopefully by that time, Amazon has got they're putting out better shit, and they're not, you know, they're gonna have some woke shit out there, and then they'll have some good shit. So hopefully, they'll be just putting out good shit, and there's some woke maybe there's some woke shit that's gonna be there still, like Wheel of Time and fucking the Lord of the Rings bullshit. That'll probably be there still, but that don't mean, you know, like you have Reacher, that show's pretty good. They're going to have He-Man. Now, He-Man's debatable what you want to consider woke. I think it was making fun of woke shit, personally. I didn't find He-Man woke, personally. I just saw a lot of, like, dick and fart jokes. That was about it. And then they're going to do Conan. That's pretty good. So, hopefully, they just keep on course with that. Keep on course with that bullshit. And we'll see. Now, if Conan's good, right? Then they move into fucking Conan, do a Conan TV show on Prime. Jeff's got the money. Bring Tartovsky on as executive producer and showrunner, and have him showrun the motherfucker. just like Fione or Leone or whatever the fuck his name was that did all the Star Wars shit, right? Have Tartakovsky be the TV show showrunner. You know, I'm talking like in the future, like 5 you know, maybe 10 years from now, right? Because this Conan show is probably, if we're lucky, it's going to go on for probably about 10 years, you know? So bring the Conan show on, and then, you know, maybe about 8 years into that, they could start production on the TV show, live action, and he could go into that, you know, and have him do a live action TV show. I would bring him on. How many trusted Howard people are there in Hollywood right now that are working, that are not canceled, right? You have like him, Robert Rodriguez, and that's kind of it, bro. Like that I can think of, that I can name off the top of my head. People that are doing Howard, that want to do Howard, that are kind of trustworthy or fringe trustworthy, would be Robert Rodriguez and Tartakovsky. Well, I'm just thinking, bro, like, because how long has Primal been on, right? Primal was on for about 8 years or something. You know, these shows take a while, and these shows are going to be like, if you look at his trajectory, everything that Tartakovsky put out, he started out with it was Batman the Animated Series, then he went on to do like Dexter's Laboratory, Powerpuff Girls, then he moved up a notch and did his Samurai Jack, right? And then he did Primal, and Primal was even like more adult, next level. The next step would have to be longer episodes, voice actors, blood, gore, and nudity, you know, and a great story, obviously, that comes first, you know. So Conan is just a natural next step up from Primal. Now I know, respectively, Primal was going to be an anthology show dealing with different forms of the primal urge, basically, you know, making people snap and tapping into that primal urge at different points. So you probably get Western primal, steampunk primal, cyberpunk primal shit. You'd probably get, you know, samurai primal stories. You would just get different primal stories throughout history that are different pulpy stories. There would be pulpy stories with people probably snapping, you know, into that primal urge. That's how they would call it primal. That's what he wanted to do. But everybody loves Spear so much that he found a way to bring Spear back for season 3. But I think that the whole time he's always wanted a Conan show. So they figured, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just do Conan. You know, the moment he sent Heroic Signatures or Conan YouTube, whatnot, Tartakovsky sent them a Primal season 3, like fucking gift box or something. I'm like, dude, something's up, homie. They're going to make it. I think he's going to do Conan, you know? And everyone's been talking about Tartakovsky, like on all the live streams, like he needs to do a cartoon. He needs to do a cartoon, you know? So that's my 2 cents on the matter. I should have done a video about it, but I usually just live stream now. And yeah, Drawn Sword. Yeah, hopefully it will be interesting if Woke does leave. I'm hoping Riddick 4 comes out soon. I'm starving for something new. Riddick gets better every year. Yeah, dude, I was going to watch Riddick last night. The Chronicles of Riddick with my kids. And I don't remember. Because I always have to go back and check for the parental reading, the parental grade, to make sure that, and I have to read everything that happens in the movie, make sure that I could show it, you know, because I really liked Riddick 3 a lot too. And that one was very First Bloodsy and, you know, very Rambo, right? He wasn't really moving around too much in that one, in the third one, and I like the third one. The third one was kind of like the first one and the second one put together, like Pitch Black being more like set in one locale. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the next one, dude. I do like Riddick. That's by far Vin Diesel's best IP. He should have been fucking with that for a long time. Sometimes, like, I don't know, man. Like, you got something good, you should probably kind of milk it for a little bit, you know? And, but also, I mean, with him, he was kind of smart. He jumped on a ton of IPs and did a lot of movies. But right now would be a good time for him to go back and, you know, probably knock out a fucking trilogy of Riddick movies, bro. Go do that shit, you know? People are down to see, like, a gritty, like, you know, pulpy, like, not steampunk, but kind of cyberpunk, you know, Firefly shit that isn't Guardians of the Galaxy bullshit, you know, like, they'd be down with that. Let's see here. The flying bikes, man. Yeah, right. And Batista was in the third one, I think, too, right? He was one of the bad guys. I remember seeing that one in the theater. I want to watch that one again. But we ended up watching Cinderella Man. And I had never seen Cinderella Man. I had never seen that movie. And then I was reading PG-13. What the hell? Okay, I'm watching Cinderella Man. And I remember like listening to Russell Crowe on an interview. I think he was promoting The Pope's Exorcist or some shit. And he was talking about all the work he put into Cinderella Man and all the boxing he had to do. And I'm like, fuck, I want to watch that movie. Because boxing is my favorite sport. I like that more than MMA. I like that more than anything. I love boxing movies. And then Ron Howard, he's a great director. I love Far and Away with Tom Cruise. That's another boxing movie, sort of. So I wanted to see that. And the Cinderella Man, it was a fucking great movie. Fabulous movie. Very, very, very relevant, too. It's set during the Great Depression. When he goes to find one of his buddies in that Hoover town, man, the whole town is built of shacks. It reminded me of that one scene in Dick Tracy where he's fighting that goon-looking character and he's punching him around in the shack, and the shack's just going like that after every hit. And I'm just thinking, like, damn, it would be great to put a fucking comic book in there. Like, just set a little comic book, maybe something like The Goon or something, maybe like a horror mystery. Just set it in the Hooverville. I'm sure someone's done that already, but make like a nice pulpy story set in Hooverville during the Great Depression. I have to do some deep diving and seeing if anyone's done that, but that just gave me some inspiration watching that. I was like, this is fucking a great idea, Great idea. Let's check these rocks out. Let's see here. Willie, just had the kids and my granddaughter up for the weekend. Frozen and Moana on repeat. Oh, yeah. Let it go, let it go. I think it's funny that The Rock and them are putting out that Moana movie already, It's like, damn, that movie ain't even that old. Like they're already doing a live action version of it. Yeah, and that first one's pretty good. They got a lot of little catchy songs in there. But I'd have to say both Frozen and Moana got the catchiest songs in a long time. And with the Disney movies, man, you need it with anything. You need a catchy, hooky song. I'm sorry, you just knew. And the fucking what is it? For sure, Moana had like 3 catchy songs on it. Not the greatest, but they were pretty catchy. And then obviously Frozen had some catchy songs. But I went and took the kids to see Moana 2. Man, none of those songs were catchy. None of them had a good hook to them. I'm like, they fucked up. You need that. You need a hook. You need that one song that just kind of seals it in. Like even He-Man. There wasn't even a lyric in that song, but the melodies were catchy. Like, like it catchy. Even a melody, bro. Something has to be catchy and hooky and stick with you, right? Think the Beatles. And you're coming from a death metal guy. That's why I like mellow death, though. I'm into melodies and hooks and shit. I'm a sucker for that. So, but yeah, man. I wasn't gonna see Toy Story 5, but for some reason, I kind of don't want to watch it now. I don't know. Kind of don't want to go see it for some reason. Same thing with Supergirl. I kind of lost interest in that, and I'm a real big Lobo stan, and I kind of don't want to go watch it. I don't know what it is. Like, I have no desire to go watch Supergirl now. I don't know what it is. But I do want to watch it, I'm not into the character. I don't like Supergirl. I'm not really into her. I like Lobo, but it's like, I don't know, guys. I don't know what happened. I'm looking forward to Werewolf. That movie looks phenomenal. Can't wait for Werewolf. There's more movies coming out, too. Probably go see Moana. Daughter might want to go watch that. They never made a Frozen movie either, I don't think. Yeah. I'm sure they'll do that eventually. Oh, same thing with that Frozen 2. That movie, the second one, didn't have a catchy song on it. Didn't have like a Let It Go song, It's just like, don't get me wrong, that song's fucking annoying, but it's a catchy song. It's got a hook on it. It's not really hard either. You just got to find a decent melody, and once you do that, you kind of build a song around that. I call it a backbone melody. All good songs that are catchy have a backbone melody, and you just build the whole fucking song off that concept, that composition of that said melody. Let's see here, Willie. Really only hanging out for Heart of the Beast now. I'm a sucker for dog movies. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. That's the new Brad Pitter, right? I'll check that out. My whole thing is, man, a movie's got to grab me by like the first 30 or 40 minutes. And now that's kind of my thing right now. If not, then I'm probably going to turn it off and go to bed. It's like, gosh, if I'm not entertained in the first 30 to 40 minutes, I just turn it off now. And I never used to be that guy. I used to be like, fuck that. I'm watching the whole movie. And if I don't like it, then that's okay. I could say I watched it, but now I'm like, nah, I'm going to give it 30 to 40 minutes. And if it isn't good, how good can it be? Even if it's the best movie ever made, dude, I'm 40 minutes in. I don't want to wait that long. Your shit better be fucking tight. Like you better have your shit lined up within the first 30 or 40 minutes. I mean, realistically, dude, you better have your shit like lined up within the first 20 minutes. Like stuff's supposed to be going down, happening, It's really no excuse. I don't want it to really brood and build up for that long, dude. I don't need 40 minutes of suspense. Let's see here. Drawn Sword. Supergirl sounds woke as fuck. Lobo's part is short as. See, that's another thing. I don't want to, 5 minutes of Lobo, I'll take it. Yeah. Same thing with that Krypton show. I just couldn't watch that Lobo character. Like that Lobo. I never watched it. It just wasn't Lobo for me. Momoa is perfect, but I don't know, man. It's kind of sad that it's only like 5 minutes, or it's gonna be. But I'm like, do I want to go see He-Man again, or do I want to go see Lobo? I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I kind of want to go see He-Man again. Like, do I want to sit in the theater with a nice fat fucking beer and maybe some popcorn, right? Big old fucking beer, and watch Lobo for 5 minutes, or do I want to watch He-Man run around like whooping some ass, skewering some dudes, impaling motherfuckers with a sword? I might go watch that, guys. It was fun, with a bunch of hard rock and guitar riffs and stuff. It was fun, and it's not going to happen for a long time. I'm not going to get any fucking sword and sorcery like that for a long time. I'm not. So I might go see He-Man. They're going to yank it in like 2 weeks anyway. Then they're going to put it on Prime, and then Bezos he's going to milk it for like a month. He's going to make motherfuckers buy that shit. Because a lot of motherfuckers don't know that movie was made for streaming. All that 100 million that they made at the box office globally, that was just that was just icing on the cake. The second movie's I predict is going to be fucking huge. I think the next Master of the Universe is going to be big if they end up doing it. I think it's going to be like what happened with Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, how it got really big on the sequel. I think that the second movie will be bigger. It ain't going to be Dark Knight levels of big, but it'll definitely be probably 3 to 4 times bigger than Master of the Universe. Because what's going to happen is they're going to see it on Prime, and a lot of people are going to really, really enjoy it. Because the thing is, people that aren't in the He-Man that actually do watch it, because a lot of people did not watch it, they like it. My buddy just watched it right now. He just went with his wife, and he's an older dude, and I'm old too, and he was like, I fucking loved it. It was awesome. And he's like, I can't wait for the next movie. Can't wait for the next He-Man. I'm like, same here. Let's see here. What's up, Conan fans? I'm digging your content, dude. Right now I'm drawing a little Elric. Yeah, I like your video on Cole, man. I'm gonna have to do a Cole piece pretty soon. Another one. I might do a Kings of the Night piece. I might draw him like fighting that big Viking dude. What's his name? Wolf? That would be fun. That would be fucking fun, dude. And have him fighting, like maybe have like a bunch of different warriors in the background. You have like Bran McMorrin kind of standing there, like with his hand on his chin, kind of looking at them like, what are these motherfuckers doing? I think that'd be fun. See, like that type of shit that I want to do before I die. I want to draw a bunch of these scenes from the books, like plucked right out of the books. Who was it? It was Jeff Shanks. He was talking about Yog Kosha, like everybody draws him the same as like the elephant, But he's saying that sometimes people don't draw him more human-like, like human-like with a long nose and like long flappy ears, kind of more grotesque, It's kind of tempting to do that, but there's something cool about an elephant head, dude. There's just something cool about that. Yeah, I can't wait for like my buddy, he does a Cole book that comes out he puts out 3 a year. It's really fucking good too. It's really like along the lines of Savage Sword. It's called The Atlantean. and it's pretty lined up with Howard. He did take some some liberties, I would say, arguably with Rule the Spear Slayer, but I don't really get too ass mad over it. But this is his Cole book, and this comes out. He puts it out like consistently, bro. Look at this shit. It's all old school. He's a real talent. Russ Leach and Randy Zimmerman. And Randy Zimmerman's old school comic books, Arrow Comics from back in the Disney, dude. Remember Arrow? I don't know if you remember Arrow Comics, indie comics from back in the Disney. They're an old company, but they're back doing this, and they're putting 3 of these out a year. They fund them on a comic book website called fundmycomic.com, and yeah, they deliver them. They ship them off. You can get them on Amazon too. And it's told right after the Shadow Kingdom. And they did, I don't know if you picked up their version of the Shadow Kingdom, but everyone cites it as the best comic book version of said Shadow Kingdom. You could pick them up in here. Oh shit, my name's in there. What do you know? BATT MURK. But anyways, yeah, you could pick them up, dude. They're on issue 5 right now. And if you get past the Brule thing, a lot of Howard fans get kind of mad about that. They're like, oh, he's not a black dude, but like there's some debating there, you know. Personally, you know, I wouldn't design him that way. I have my own design for Brule, but you'll fucking love this book. And it's him and Brule. The best way to describe it, dude, it's like Murtaugh and Riggs, like in Lethal Weapon. They're just going around fucking fools up, you know, hunting down the serpent men. Hey, what's up, Omer? How you doing, buddy? Yeah, dude. If you just get past that, like if you just get past the whole thing about that, then you'll love it. Look at that, bro. You're gonna tell me that don't bring back memories, man? Come on. And look at the paper, dude. It's great. It's perfect bound too. Whoop. And you get this. If you get it off the site when they launch it every 3 months, each issue, you get a print of this for free. And the book is like, I think it's $15 plus shipping, bro. You know, it's great stuff. I love it. That's right now. That right now, and my other buddy's book, The Man with No Strings. It's a spaghetti western comic take on Pinocchio, and it is fucking beautiful. If you're into that old Top Cow style, like Mark Silvestrian. Look at this. How beautiful the artwork is in there. Look at that. It's called The Man with No Strings. Look at that. I get so jealous when I look at that. I did a review on it. Look at that. Beautiful, man. Look at the face. Look at the detail in there. Oliver Isabedra, that's the artist. Look at that. That brings you back to that old Erie days, that old Bernie Wrightson days. Look at that. I love this scene right here. You know, you got Geppetto. He's fucking in his mind. And this is on ZadeComics.com. And these guys are putting out 3 books a year too. So, The Man with No Strings and The Atlantean. These are the 2 best indie books right now. These are my homies, and they come out. They're consistently putting out quality books almost quarterly, and that's the goal that I'm looking for probably in the next 5 years from now. I got a few books I'm working on right now, but eventually I want to put out at least 1 book a year. That'd be cool, you know. But with that being said, Russ and Randy got their dope ass Cole book, and now Titan's going to come out with their Cole, you know, and I'm looking forward to that too, right? The more Cole and Conan, the happier I get, you know. Like you got Blaze's Conan too. I'm not really a big fan of the Blaze Conan so much. I would pick it up, but I like more Titan style, you know. Thank you so much, dude. Thank you, Omer. Hell yeah, brother. I'm about to get into a beer right now. I'm about to get into a wee heavy, a Scots beer. Tell them Scotland is free. And I'm drawing dragonflies. In the book, I believe I forgot what issue it is. Elric goes up against these reptilians, right? And they have these They have stork legs. They have these stork-like legs, these reptilian people, and they're running around. They have these clubs, and they have crystals within the clubs. And I'm just thinking that's scary shit to draw. And they can't phase Stormbringer. Stormbringer is the name of the sword, right? For some reason, they have their way around it, and I think it's because they're related to the Melniboneans. They're like an ancient race that's kind of related to them somewhat. And the thing about Elric is he always gets in a pinch, and he has to summon his demon lord to come and help him, dude. So I don't think his demon lord comes, but in that instance, these dragonflies come down, these giant dragonflies, and they start fucking these lizard people up, man. So I wanted to put that in there. Conan Fan says for sure, brother, William the Princess School. Yeah. I'm just trying to get a balance of these little guys right here, these little dragonflies. Oh man, I'm yapping tonight, guys. I love it when I'm feeling energized. You know, you don't get to feel that way all the time. I know I don't. Yeah, I know I don't. But I'm excited, man. You know, it's been a good week. We got that Conan news. I finished up 9 pages of Crom. I kind of want to show you guys some of the Croms. Some of the Crom pages I did. I haven't written it. I haven't put the word balloon in though. I want to get it. I'm gonna get like 30 pages done, or what is it? 28 pages done. Then I'm gonna word them all up, and then I'm gonna ship them over to. That way he's got a few volumes worth ready to go. Because I'm probably gonna do like four chapters, 3 to 4 chapters, depending of the Crom story I'm doing. See, dragonflies, yeah, they're real badass. Watch them busting mosquitoes on the wing. Yeah, it's all done. I mean, the artwork is all done. Yeah, the first 9 pages. It's all action too. Like 90% of it. I'd say, yeah, probably 80-90% of it. And the second chapter is not. So I was like, fuck, I have no action in here. And the thing is, I had to change that drawn sword. Like I want every chapter to have at least a fight scene in it, dude. You know, at least 1 page of something. But that's not good enough for me. I need like 3 pages because I love action. You know, everyone's got their dicks, you know. But I really want, like, if I could, I would have longer character moments and things like that. I'm kind of starting to get more into that. And he has a good character chat in that second chapter with somebody, and I wanted to with 2 people actually, dude. But I have to like find a way to slim that down and, you know, find places for the word balloons and not make it look too crowded, and to take out some of the words and make it sound kind of cool when you're reading it and not bored out of your mind. And then I got to put some cool action in there so it looks fucking badass and it pumps you up and leaves you hanging with something juicy for the next year, you know? Like, oh, okay, I could deal with that. I just, you know, that's the way I would look at it if I was personally like looking for my stuff, I guess. I don't know. And Crom is practice for me teaching myself sword and sorcery storytelling, you know, because I've never done it before. I've always wanted to, and I'm working on my own stuff. I'm building my own world out, so I'm trying to do the best I can with Crom. That way, when I go to do my world and stuff like that, then at least I have my foot in that pool a little bit, and I've been there before. And I'm writing a story right now for my own character, and I'm building a world up for it. I'm building a map. And I'm just doing little bits here and there, you know. And once I hit a wall, I stop. I step back. I let it cook. A lot of the kids say I let it cook. I say I let it simmer, motherfucker. I'm an old man now. I let it simmer like chili and stew, baby. I let it simmer, and then I'll come back to it later. You know, don't like to overwork things too much if I can't. Story wise and art wise, even though I do sometimes. This piece is probably overworked a little bit, but that's okay. Yappity yap. So yeah, it's gonna be fun though, drawing these next pages. You know. Yeah. And I gotta start working on another, and I'm also working on Hell War. I'm gonna be printing that book out pretty soon. I gotta set an announcement. Let's see here. Good way, let it simmer. Do that, yeah. Yeah, let it simmer, do that, right? I'm working on Hellroll right now, so like I'm really I'm basically making the pages. Yeah, and when you look at it, it's gonna look like old pulpy paper, bro. When you're looking at the Hell War pages, um, they're gonna be distressed. They're gonna have a lot of stains on them. It's gonna look really dirty, you know. So I'm working on that right now, and I'm writing some more dialogue here and there, writing some funny stuff. I'm still meeting with my editor, but the plan is to have it shipped off to print on July 11th, which is my birthday, 7/11. So I like to. You got to put dates on things. If you don't put dates on things, then nothing will ever get done. And then you know, the sole manager lady told me that back in the day, and I'm like, shut up, shut the fuck up. Now I'm like, that bitch was right. It's true. You got to put you have to put dates on things, or they will not get done. Otherwise, it's just gray. Like, yeah, it'll get done. It'll get done. Even if those dates are going to get changed, there has to be a date. If there's not a date, you will never get nothing done. So I have dates for everything I do, even if I don't, fulfill it by that time, or if I don't get it, there has to be a date there. You have to have a plan. Let's see your Conan official. What's Crom? Is that a book? Yeah. So, long story short is what's let's see here, Willie. I find the work flows best first thing in the morning after the second coffee. Yeah. For me, if it just kind of pops up randomly. That's a good time though. I really like it in the morning. But Conan fans, back to what you're saying. So long story short, real quick, I'll do this and I'll explain that a little. Crom the Barbarian was created by a writer named Gardner S. Fox, and he wrote a bunch of sword and sorcery books, a bunch of science, sword and science, or science space fantasy, like sword and sorcery stuff, kind of like John Carter stuff. He wrote a bunch of that. He also created Hawkman for DC Comics, and he created Batman's utility belt for DC Comics. He's also the first person to ever create a barbarian character in comic book form. That even predates Conan the Barbarian and Savage Tales of Conan by, I think, 20 or 30 years. And he tried to make the first Conan the Barbarian comic book, but whoever held the rights at that time told him he could not do that. So in return, he said, you know what? I'm going to go make my own character. I'm going to call him Crom, and I'm going to name him after Conan's god. So he made Crom the Barbarian. And he did that in 1950s. And so this character is public domain. So there's a lot of people out there that love Conan and love sword and sorcery, and we want to do our own characters or something like that, that we can all kind of work together on and have a little version of, and that's Crom the Barbarian. And there's two kind of big publishing groups, I would say. One of them is cromthebarbarian.com, and that does the Crom anthology. That's run by Kurt Bruegel, and he's the one that's in charge of the Gardner Fox library. And then there's also Jamie Burrows. He does the brutal Blade of Crom. I haven't picked up those books yet, but I am going to pick them up. So, but everyone's basically doing their own Crom story. You're going to get Crom stories that are mostly sword and sorcery. You're going to get some that might be post-apocalyptic. You might get some Crom the Barbarian that's cyberpunk. Who knows, right? But they're all going to be somewhat science fiction inspired. I'm sorry, sword and sorcery inspired, like most of them. But the thing is, they're done in these anthology forms, and they're done by independent people, and independent people want to do them. So this is like the Crom Bible. You can pick this up at cromthebarbarian.com. And they're all black and white, and this is like his version of Crom. And everybody wants to show how he became a god. That's like every creator. I want to show how he became a god. I want to show how he became Conan's god. They don't want to do that. But what's cool about this one, Conan's fans, is it has Gardner or Kurt Bruegel printed the first ever Crom stories in here, and Bruegel's also a writer and a badass artist himself, and this is his art. He does fine art, comics, all kinds of stuff, and he did his first take on Crom. He actually did like a prequel story, the one that he wrote that took place before what Gardner Fox did. So that's Gardner Fox, and he talks about everything in here, And you got Robert E. Howard, our boy, right? So the thing is, with Crom, there was only 3 stories. He only did 3. And the first one, he fights a snake, and they're all reprinted in here. So you can look at them. They're from the 1950s, and they're fucking cool, dude. They're badass. and he has a sister named Lala, which is different than Conan. And we also he gets a queen named Tanit that they kind of argue a lot, and then eventually they marry each other. On the second story, he fights a big spider. It's just really pulpy, dude. And I love these books, man. And then here he fights a giant at the end, right? And he's got his haircut. He's a little older in this one. I just love this stuff. I just love it. And you guys can get these books right now at CrownTheBarbarian.com, right? So this is the first one that Bruegel did, right here. And then he even took a Gardner Fox story that was more of a sword and sorcery, or that was more of like it was like I forgot what it was, but he turned it into a Crom story. But it's the same writer. It's fucking dope. Look at that art. Same thing with this. You got a prose story. This one's really good right here. Really fucking good. This one's called Crom and the Warlock of Shorador. Love what he did with that. So it's a prose story. Really, really good. Very, very. It felt like a Robert E. Howard story. Really well written. I don't want to spoil all of it, but you guys can check it out. And then there's some artist stuff in the background right here. You got Drawn Sword right there. Our boy in the chat. Look at that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like an indie underground comic book movement that's all about sword and sorcery. So all the Conan fans should be over here. Now this is Crom Anthology #1. Okay, I haven't even read all this yet. And there's tons of stories in here. And these are all the different stories you get all different types of artists that are going to get published in here. You got newcomers, you got veterans, you got seasoned pros. They're all in here, right? There's Bruegel's style right there. His style is real dirty and gritty. And I love this dark, gritty stuff. You get in all different walks of life with different people. It's a good way for people to come together and do a story and get in here. You even got a little Japanese ad from Conan the Barbarian in there just for fun. And then sometimes he finds old like sword and sorcery things, and he'll print them in here. Lillian Chesney's Arabian Nights, just thrown in there for fun. It's an anthology, man. You got this modern one right here that's kind of based off of the Kandahar Giants. That has to do with Crom. Let's see what else they got. Another Crom story in here. Prose. All kinds of stuff. There's a free script in here. Crom Jr. See, look at that. It's kind of like, this is another one Bruegel did, another style he has. Kind of like Calvin and Hobbes style, just to give it more flavor. We got another one right here. Distressing Tale of Thangbred the Jeweler. It's got some cool architecture in it. So I just really love this, man. Giant spider again. Love that. Yeah. But I don't want to spoil it too much, man. See, this one's an old school one, too. He reprinted. Eric Kahn. The complete Eric Kahn story. So, and he'll have to go to the family estate and he'll have to ask them to print this in here, And a lot of this stuff hasn't been printed for like fucking 30-something years, So that's good for that family, Like imagine if I died and I had some story and then you get a guy like Bruegel that's going to come and he's going to like reprint it and let people know about your stuff. So, but yeah, that's it, guys. That's what Crom is. That's a long story short, but this is the first book. It's about 250 pages, and you can get this at CrownTheBarbarian.com. Anthology 1. Now, the next ones are going to be a little bit smaller, and they're going to come out a little more frequently. That's what they're trying to do. So part 2 will probably be about 100 pages. 3 will probably be about 100 pages. So, long story. But that's what it is. Crom's a long story, and I gotta talk about it, if anyone asks. Especially the Sword and Sorcery brothers that are into Conan, especially the Brobarians, They gotta know about it. Some of you guys will simply love it. I know I did. I was like, that's fucking so cool. It was who put me up on it? It was Drawn Sword. Drawn Sword put me up on it. Thank you, Drawn Sword. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be doing it. I would not be doing it. Oh yeah, Willie, man. You guys gotta pick these books up, man. They got great stories in them. And the story I wanted to do is it pays tribute to Gardner Fox's Crom and also what what Kurt Bruegel has done with the character. You know, I actually got Crom and Crom Jr. in my book. I got the son in there, and it was kind of hard designing Crom Jr. so he wouldn't just look like Crom. You know. Let me see. I might have showed you guys my Crom. You guys want to see my Crom design? I'll show you. That's the beauty of it. Everyone can kind of do their own Crom, you know. Let's see here. Where did I put my Crom at? Oh shoot! I got a picture right here actually. Let me see. I did a pinup for it. Might go in one of the books. I don't know. Might not. Maybe one day. Where is it? It should be right here somewhere. Going through my stack of pages real fast. You can see Crom and then some of the fiends he has to go up against in my story. Takes a minute. Is that it right there? Yep, there it is. Let's see here. An artist named Crom did a cover for you. I saw that, dude. Yeah, it's kind of cartoony a little bit too. Not too much hatching. I saw that. But yeah, here's a Crom piece I did. It's like a pinup. This is my version of Crom. And he's in his bedroom right here in the story. He's fighting up against these crazy guys. And they have this kind of rocky thing growing on their skin, kind of like these rock warts, you know. And they got this long hair that kind of goes all the way down like a mane, goes all the way down their spine, around their ass. It's almost like a diaper. Yeah, some people were saying they look like Blanca from Street Fighter. Like, you know what? You're right. But yeah, my Crom's pretty old in my story. He's an older Crom. He's probably like in his 50s. Yeah, and he's got his little crown right there. But this isn't in the story. This doesn't really go down like this. This is just kind of a promo piece. He doesn't really wear that in the story. It's just like a promo piece. I had to change things around for the story. In the story, he's not gonna be wearing that, but I mean, he has this, but he doesn't wear it in the story. Not really. Yeah. Things change when you start writing the story, you know. But yeah, those like I'm working through the characters. Same thing with Elric right here. Next time I draw Elric, I'll draw him differently, and it's just like the first time kind of figuring it out, you know, because I had just designed it. I had just designed my version of Crom, and I wanted to kind of, and then the monsters, and then I had to put them like in a setting together where they were attacking each other. So that was it was fun, but a little kind of like a little research, I guess, and fun at the same time. Let's see here. I don't want to spoil much. That was like my Crom design right there. That's how he's gonna look in the main story. He's got his armor on. He's got his sword. That's Skullcracker. That's the name of the sword. That's my design of Skullcracker, and then he's got his Seox blade like there is kind of like a Viking blade for gutting and whatnot. A little utility stuff. Little chain. That's his crown. And then there's my my character. You can't show you that. And then this is how some of those guys kind of design the way they look, you know, because you get millions of these motherfuckers in the Conan stories, stuff like this, you know. You're always trying to design something new, you know. They're always cavemen or ape men or something, you know, which we love them. We fucking love them to death, right? But it's like you got to try to think of something fresh, you know, even if it's like a minuscule something. But there we go. Enough self-promotion. But I have to let you guys know about that, man. You guys that are reading Conan and Titan, you got to know about the whole Crom underground movement, man. You know, it may not be like a massive movement, but it is movement for sure. Yeah, it's important. It's very important to me, and what's going on with sword and sorcery, man. I got to bring back my. I also do a show. I haven't done it in about a month, but it's called Barbarian Brunch, where I just talk about the new Conan books, dark fantasy, uh, uh, sword and sorcery movies, trash barbarian movies. All that shit. But it's like I want to have a pretty good show put together, and then I got to have like a kind of a set schedule for the month or so to kind of get it going. And it's been chaotic, and I got my book Hell War coming out, so I'm getting Hell War ready right now, getting all the pages looking distressed, and putting my coffee stains on there and stuff. I ain't gonna lie, I got this. So the book was already dirty. That's the idea that I'm going for it with Hell War, but I wanted it dirtier and I wanted texture to it. And I'm hopefully with my printer I'm gonna get those nice cream pages that you look at it and you can see all the different levels. It just and I got this. I use this program called True Grit. It's cool, man. It's got all these different textures and retro coloring to kind of look like this, like my boy Phil's comic, to give it that retro look. Different different ways to distress it, different color tones, just to get like that. Those tones, those screens, different screen tones and whatnot. So I was gonna do coloring in my books. I'm gonna be doing it more like this with singular colors, stuff like that. I fucking love the way that looks. It's old school, man. Like if I scanned this picture and colored it, I would color it in that style. That's what I would do. There's an artist that does something similar to that on Instagram. I think his name's Alexander Gorblut, and he does a lot of work. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. He does a lot of he does a lot of comics. He does a lot of bands artwork. I think he does a lot of D&D stuff. It's fantastic. He does a minimal color palette. But I don't know what it is, man. I love like stuff that looks beat up and dirty and rusty and rustic and distressed and I don't know, beat up, man. Something about it. I don't know. Here I'm yapping again. All right. So I'm thinking, yeah, okay. All right. Doing that. Probably going to go get a beer here in a second. Let's see your Drawn Sword. So stoked you're a part of it. Crom 2 hopefully comes out in August. Oh, hell yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm so stoked that you put me up on it, man. It's fun. It's fun meeting lots of people and Bruegel and more people that are in part of the movement. It is a movement. It might not be gigantic, but it's something moving around, within comics and in the indie sphere, right? And I'm talking Crom specifically within the sword and sorcery, arena of indie comics. Just some of these stories are just so fucking good. I haven't even read Anthology 1. I plan on doing like deep dive video on both of the books, dude. Like Crom Collected and that, like a proper the best way I could do it, even if I can't do it perfect, like the way I really want to do it, as far as like a review wise, I'm gonna do one. Like it's important, it has to be done, but I haven't got around to doing it yet. And at the same time, I don't want to fucking spoil everything in the book either. I want more folks to go out there and buy it. You know what I'm saying? Like I want people to support the indie scene and pick them up if they can. And Bruegel's kind of offering them digitally, but dude, you're gonna want them like traditionally. I'd recommend just saving up a couple bucks and buying a bunch of them. Because the thing I like about Bruegel, man, he's just like a real selfless guy. Like he'll get a bunch of other people's comics and sell them on his site, dude, for people like this kind of. He's got one on there called like Berserker Not by, I think his name's Jeff Lafferty. It's a book I've always wanted. He's just really about the art and the scene, and really really just fucking loves sword and sorcery comics and indie comics. Great guy. There's not a lot of people out there like him. There's a lot of nice people out there though, man. Like Drawn Sword and Omer Glitch, Hell Brother. You're the guys that make the world go round. Guys making shit happen. Selfless individuals. Very selfless. We need more selfless people. I gotta be more selfless myself. I could be a real asshole sometimes, and I don't like it. Let's see, we got that right there. Boom, boom, boom. You know what, guys? I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get a wee heavy beer. I think it's that time. Oh man! Right, here we go. Here we go. This is it right here. By Einstock and Fee Heavy. Excuse me. This is delicious though, man. It's it's basically like Viking Highlander beer. It's like the best way to put it, dude. And it's a style, like there's different companies making wee heavies, but I don't see them anymore. There was this one called Oscar Blues out of Colorado. They would make this. It's dude, I look like that motherfucker now. Chopper. I look like him now. I look like an overweight version of him. If I was to spin my camera around, you'd laugh your ass off, but I'm not gonna ruin you guys like that. I love me some Eric Bana around here. Cheers, big ears. Yeah. But yeah, it's a Viking Highlander beer, bro. Cheers, guys. It's 8% too. And they should have them. If you guys got a Total Wine in your area, tell them to order them. They'll probably like, oh, you want some beer? Sure, no problem. I'll order you some beer right now. Because I told you, like I said, the alcohol industry is fucking $850 billion down right now. No one's drinking hardly. But there's nothing wrong with having a beer like, a couple beers a month. Like if you do like a 6-pack a month, it ain't gonna do shit to you. I'm sorry, it's just not. Unless you're like really, really, really kind of bad. But if you're quitting, then yeah, don't fucking have any at all anymore, or just don't have it that much. But me, I've kind of been drinking off and on since I was like 14 years old, so it's not really good. Not really good. I should have been drawing fucking comics. That's what I should have been doing. And it's sad too, because like when I was a kid, I'd party a lot in high school and stuff like that. Then once I got out of high school for a few years, I think by the time I was like 18 and like pretty much, dude, 20 to 43 now almost. So 23 years, I've just been working nonstop. I just haven't stopped, and I was in retail like 90% of the time. So it's like just because you're working all the time doesn't mean that's a good choice. You should be going to school too. Don't just work for 20 years in retail. Go fucking get a job go get a second job and save more money, or work and take a class, man. Go take a freaking a life drawing class, or just learn a trade, So like in retrospect, I wish I was, doing more art. I wish I was just doing more art. I wasted like 10 years without doing art. Let's see here, William. I saw heavy drinkers lose their absolute shit in hospital. Oh man, that sucks. Card off the comps. Hey, I'm doing great, man. Long time no see. Yeah, good to see you. Yeah, cheers on the brewski. You too, Omer. Oh yeah, brother. But it's all good, I'm still alive and I still get to make art, right? We're all still alive right now. It's all that matters. Get that little bit right there. Boom. A little more of that. Boom. Pop that out a little bit more like that. All right, nothing crazy. Yeah. I might mess with that a little bit more later. Let's see. Yeah, I gotta look at that. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I might turn this into a print one day. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like some cool T-shirt designs. I'm gonna start designing T-shirts and making T-shirts. I want to do a new clothing line. It's Gucci. No, but for reals, I want to make some fucking metal sword and sorcery t-shirts. I'm going to do them black and white and then like distressed, like old school coloring shit, you know? But they got to be metal and they got to be badass that people will actually buy, you know? And I haven't put any thought into it. I just know I want to do it. And I'm going to start out with 3 shirts. And I'm going to make a bigger online store with more products, and I'm going to sell more art on there. But it's going to be probably about a year. I'm going to start going harder on that in about a year. Yep. Yeah, everyone needs a badass t-shirt, right? It never stops. And that's me. I'm a t-shirt and jeans guy. So I'm doing my little sword strokes right here. I'm gonna try something a little different this time. I'm gonna do it in batches. See how that works out. Yeah, see how that works out. But yeah, I'm watching that show Dark Winds right now. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I want to sell them in Germany too. Hell yeah. I want to sell them everywhere. You know what I mean? I want to try to like work stuff out to where like it's affordable for everybody if I can, you know? I'm going to do whatever I can. I want to sell my shit everywhere. I want you to be able to go to my website and buy my artwork, buy my prints, buy my t-shirts, buy my original art all on my website. I'm moving into that next year. I don't know what type of website it's going to be. It might just be an eBay store. I might have 2 websites. I'm also going to sell my books on there too. I kind of want everybody to be able to get to one thing. If I actually made money on it, right now I don't have a website. I have a web store. It's on Big Cartel. I have 2 of my books up on there and a few art pieces. But I want to be able to put all my pieces in one spot, you know, where people could buy them. And prints. I think I'm gonna do some prints. I think I can get away with it. I'm gonna do some colored prints. I'm gonna do some old school style colored prints. I don't know of what yet, but I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna pick a couple of them and see what people might like. I'll probably do like some votes, like, hey, what looks the best? This or that. I'm thinking about doing some prints, you know. We'll see what happens with that, you know. Let that dry. Happy little trees over there. Little spots up there. Happy little accident right there. Just beat the devil out of it. Yeah, you have a great day. You too, Willie. Take it easy. Yeah, Zay Comics is printing his own stuff. Yeah, you too, Conan fans. I'll see you, brother. Have a great weekend. Yeah, ideally you'd like to have your own printer. That would be that's pretty gangster. Once you get that, man, you're kind of golden, you know. You can kind of figure out what you want to specialize in, you know. Like for me, it would be like I don't know, really. It would just depend on what type of stories I'd want to do. You know, do I want to get a black and white printer, colored one? I really don't know. I probably want to get a colored one too. Wouldn't need too much color, but just because a lot of the stuff I want now is, I don't know. But then I might have a painting I do that's got a lot of color in it, and I want to print something that's, you know, comparable to the painting of it, like a print of it, right? Something to think about. Right. A little swipe right there. Watching that movie, what was it? Vigilante Citizen. That movie was crazy. It's pretty good. Just needed some fucking fight scenes in there, man. He just pretty much just shooting everybody. You know, you gotta have some fight scenes in there, man. You could tell that the budget. They really didn't have a budget in there. Didn't have a budget at all. Yeah, no budget. Yeah. Trying to let this thing dry pretty quick. That crossover story. I don't know if you're still there, John Sword, but that one that what the pit fighters one, the one that Bruegel and Jamie are doing. It looks pretty badass on the Crom update. Just watching some of that today. I got to finish that. I like the action in there. It's pretty badass. Pretty cool. Looking forward to that. Bump, 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 bump. So you don't know that one. I watched Mutant Chronicles. First time found it on DVD for $1. Yeah, the movie's cool with Thomas Jane. The movie's like one big kind of like a video game cutscene, right? Thomas Jane's awesome, dude. I seen that guy in I was watching an interview with him on Michael Biehn. You know, Kyle Reese from Terminator. He has a podcast, dude. And he had him on there. I guess Thomas Jane was an actor in India. That's where he started acting at a young age. He literally left his home like in the Midwest, I think, and moved to India. Became an actor at like 17 or some shit. Yeah, fucking wild. He was only there for a little bit, and then he moved to like San Francisco when he was like 18. He's like kind of moved all over. But he's got a comic book out called Lycan. It looks pretty cool. It's during like the French Indian War. Got to pick that one up too. I like to interview that guy. I used to do like little interviews on this show with different creators and stuff. I was gonna try to bring out more like bands and stuff, like, because a lot of people, dude, you could interview them, bro. Like they're down to do it. You'll see like big celebrities go on channels with like 100 subscribers. They'll have like 20 views or some shit. You're like, what? You just got to kind of find out who their manager is and just ask them. Half the time they'll say yeah, as long as you know you got your shit together and you're ready to interview them, and you do some reconnaissance and watch some of their interviews and try to find shit that they haven't talked about before, so they're not bored out of their fucking minds when they come on, and they're kind of like, oh, this motherfucker did his research and he's got some new questions for me, you know. He's coming on though. We're gonna be talking about the Punisher for sure, bro. I would definitely be like, hey, bro, let's talk Punisher. He loves the Punisher. Him and Ray Stevenson are my favorites. You know, I think right now, if you ask me about, because I love the Punisher. I do. But for me, I think that Ray Stevenson and Thomas Jane, those are I like them the same. They're tied. Then it would be, then I'd probably tie up Dolph Lundgren with it'd be Dolph Lundgren and Bernthal. I don't know. That Bernthal, he kind of yells a lot, but I mean that's his style, I guess. Punisher's kind of cool and calm, you know, collected. That's how Jane played him too. You didn't really see him running around yelling at everybody all the time. Let's see. Yeah, I gotta watch that Kurt and Jamie episode. What's the name again? Oh, well, the episode they aired it this morning. I was sleeping, man. This was the first time I've slept in this year. I slept until like 9:30, and I woke up like, ugh. Yeah, I felt good too, but I had missed it. But yeah, the story, if that's what you're asking about, the one that to work on, it's called like Barbarians of the Pit or something like that. It's the one they jammed on. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool when dudes jam on a piece, you know. It takes a lot of like, what's the word? For someone to like jam on art with them, you know, trust and confidence, you know. Yeah. Let's see, we're getting there. We got a little bit more. Got to make a statement with this. It's almost there though. Oh, the movie guy. Thomas Jane. That he was like the first kind of Marvel. Well, I mean, Dolph Lundgren was the first one, right? But he was the one that they kind of was the most comic book accurate, I would say. The one with the John Travolta villain, you know. And he's like, I wasn't even Italian. He says that in interviews. It's like, dude, none of the actors that played Punisher are Italian. The new Punisher has one of the Conan artists drawing it. This guy named Davia. He was drawing Punisher back in the Dark Horse days. He did the Devil in Iron. He did a Devil in Iron. It was written by Cullen Bunn. It was Cullen Bunn's adaptation. But I did a review on this. But it's Sergio Davia. He does a badass Conan, dude. If you follow him on Instagram, check him out. But the thing is, on this book, there's two pencilers and two inkers, and you can't tell. Like for me, I'd have to come in here with a microscope to tell the difference between Jose Luis Suarez and Sergio Davia. Like I can't tell the difference. That's good. I was talking to Brink about earlier. Genuine Comics. If you can get a guy like two dudes that could kind of draw similar for his book, he'd be chilling, dude. You know, just in case one of the you'll get it done quicker, and then with the other guy flakes out, you got another guy lined up. But I like their take on Jigsaw in here, bro. This is a really cool like layout, like their cuts. you know. And he makes his skin out of like human. He's more like Ed Gein in here. The writer Benjamin Percy turned him into more like Ed Gein or Leatherface. I think that was a good idea too. But I like his style of drawing. Yeah, see, that looks like, you could tell that's Sergio Davia right there. You know, you put the long hair on there, it's already got the eyeshadow. He looks like Conan already. Do you know what I mean? Same thing with that. But I like this artwork. It's a cool fight scene right there too. Yeah. This fool like stabs him in the hand. We'll take this. And then Frank just goes spat. And then Frank headbutts him. It's just a good comic, dude. This is like the only Marvel comic I'm reading right now. And I like it because I like Tombstone as a villain, and I like Jigsaw as a villain too, dude. I think they're perfect, you know. But I'm always looking for like Lobo and Punisher, you know. And I like how he has the white gloves and the white boots. I know like it's not realistic, but it just looks so cool because it's a fucking comic, bro. Her forehead does look kind of fucked up, though. I'm not gonna lie. That's a big forehead. we all. It's just a. You know, these guys can draw a million times better than me. You know, I'm like nothing compared to these artists. But I don't give a fuck. That's a big forehead. We can call each other out on shit. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to the next book. You know. I don't get my fifis hurt though, bro. When people tell me stuff, I listen to them too. You know, but some bitches got big foreheads like that. Like that chick from, what was it, American Beauty and American Pie? She had a big old forehead. So, what do I know, right? Puts the claw through the machine at the end. It's Punisher returned back to how he was, right? Yeah, nah, dude, it's not woke at all. Not one big. But the thing is that there's so much they fuck things up so bad at Marvel, and they still do have woke shit out there that it's hard to navigate through. It's basically like television now. Like, say if you're trying to find programming for your kids to watch, you have to fucking do all this reconnaissance and deep dives, you know? And then atop of that, usually they bring the woke shit in on season 3 for whatever show it is. But they've been, you know, pretty good. But it's just basically like, I made a comment earlier today on Omer's stream. I don't know if he's still here, but I was saying like the culture war is kind of over. Like, it's not really relevant anymore. But it's always going to be there. There's always going to be like woke battles and culture war battles. It's never going to stop. Within our lifetime, it will never end. There's always going to be woke propaganda and art forever. It's always going to be there to destabilize everything. So it's just something that you have to like look for. So I'm reading The Punisher. Like, I'm doing that. I'm checking out Lobo as well. Lobo's okay. I'm not really like thrilled with it, but it's okay. It's, you know, it's viable. But it's not exactly what I like hoped it would be. I'm not gonna lie. What else am I reading now? Yeah, for DC it's Lobo, and for Marvel it's Punisher, and I'm enjoying the Punisher more than Lobo. Lobo's got some good dialogue here and there, but it's just, I don't know what it is. The third issue, it dropped back into like they switched artists and they did like his origin, and it was just kind of, I don't know, I wasn't feeling it. So I didn't review it, but I'll review that. I'll review it with the fourth one. I'm going to review them together eventually. But other than that, dude, like I'm digging the Corpse Knight. Yeah, that one's pretty good. That Corpse Knight book. This shit's pretty cool. It's a Frenchie book. You know? It's a little girl and her dad. He's got fucking maggots in his face, and he's a knight during the medieval period. They're looking for Joan of Arc to kind of help her and her dad. You know, and it's got the artist that did Manifest Destiny, that horror comic that was fucking bad. His art got a little more simpler than it used to be, but he does a really good job with like drawing these big like historical like epic pieces, you know. And it's from a director that did The Nun 2. You know, it's just a good story. You know, these guys are they just killed her dad, and he's coming back from the grave. You know, it's pretty good. I like it. It's a badass shot right there too. That'd be a good T-shirt. Yeah, I dig this book. I'm gonna draw the character. It might get woke later too, but you never know. So you never know. A lot of the woke shit too, it kind of creeps in like halfway through. You know, they like it's a bait and switch. That's what they do. Oh, okay, still here? Hell yeah, brother. Yeah, rich elite versus everyone else. Yeah. So that's true. 100%. You got to be aware of it. We also got to be aware of this of the shit that's going on, like that's really close to you. You know, that's outside your house. You know what I mean? Like they're the root of some of the shit that's outside of our house, but at the end of the day, you know, you have to deal with these monsters out here that they're not dealing with. Like they conjure these motherfucking monsters, and then we have to deal with them. The ones that are outside our window right here. Let's see. Yeah, watch your reviews on Corpse. Sounds all right. I recently got book 2 of Greg of Broadmoor's One Path. Fully painted dinosaur barbarians. What? Where'd you get that at? Who publishes that? Drawn Sword's always coming through with the dope shit. I still gotta buy your book, dude. And then I'm looking forward to your comic too. Was it Thongor, right? Thongor? I'm horrible with names, dude. Forgive me. I'm looking forward to that, dude. Oh, Mad Cave does it? Okay. I'll have to look into that. They're on issue? They're on issue, oh, you got book 2. Okay. I'm gonna have to check that out. I'm gonna have to fucking review that. I'm trying to get not all my stuff, but I like having sword and sorcery, dude. It's just my favorite genre. You know? It really is. But I like to get some variety in there, like Lobo, you know? A little bit of Punisher, you know? Punisher's kind of like a barbarian of the now, right? He can get pretty barbaric. And he's got his own little code, right? They all got a code. There we go. A little more there. Yeah. But I ain't gonna lie, I was thinking about drawing like Doomsday versus what's his face? Doomsday versus Null. But I'm thinking, I already drew kind of like I drew Elric, and Null's kind of a rip off him a little bit, but it just sounded like a fun thing to draw. You know? Sometimes I want to draw something that sounds fun. That's the whole point. You want to be inspired to draw shit. And then, you know, if you're drawing just swords and sorcery all the time, you need some contrast, you know? You got to do different things. I've been drawing a lot of that stuff, so I might do that. I might do like a little cosmic battle with the two of them, maybe floating out in space or something, or fighting in the middle of the street. That'd be cool. And this one's kind of cool because it's not really him fighting someone else. He's fighting a bunch of people. Sometimes I just want to draw maybe like a pinup of somebody. I don't really do those that much. I did the Max. That was like the last one I did. But I'm not really inspired by those too much. Greg Broadmoor works he works at what? A workshop. Oh, okay. And does one comic a year. It's a couple hundred pages per book. Definitely look into it. It's your thing for sure. Oh, okay. I gotta check it out. I don't know if that's the same guy that was unlocked on all the special features on the Lord of the Rings appendices. The dude with the glasses. Man, they made so much stuff too. Did you know that Weta Workshop did the George Miller Justice League stuff? They did all the costumes, man. Like Armie Hammer, I think, was talking about that. They made like 2 bat suits, and I've seen some of them. The bat suits look very inspired. They look pretty cool. I ain't gonna lie, man. I wish we got that Justice League movie. That would have been pretty cool. I think it would have been a lot of fun, and I'm pretty sure it would have been better than like all the Marvel movies that came out in the past 10 years. Yeah, I think in the movie, like Batman gets fucking a lot of his limbs broken or some shit, and so he makes this suit with these big like hydraulic pumps on the sides of his arms, like Terminator kind of. I'm like, dude, that's fucking badass. And then his bat ears are like the Kelly Jones style, like they're really long, dude. And then Army Hammer's a pretty tall guy with with a deep voice. Like, yeah, he could he could play Batman. He'd be pretty cool. Especially in the new movie, dude, when you see him delivering the dialogue, I could see what George Miller was thinking, because he's in the new movie, he's kind of like Bruce Wayne a little bit, like he's a rich guy that's like, going around doing shit, and the way he talks to his victims, it reminds me of Batman. He's got that total Batman like vibe going. Definitely Patrick Bateman a little bit too. American Psycho a little. But more Batman Bruce Wayne. He's like more like Bruce Wayne and the Punisher in some ways too. Let's see here. Kind of over Batman though, man. It's just too much Batman. Just like all the time. Batman. Let's see here. Thinking, maybe. Yeah, I'll probably leave it maybe like. A little bit of Dexter too. That's what that's what they should have. Greg Broadmoor's interviews. Okay, yeah, I'll check that out. Well, I was checking out that Dead Gods YouTube channel, man. That shit looks fucking badass, man. I think it was you talking about that. I'm like, bro, I want some stuff like that too, It's like I like black and white, but sometimes you want to tell like a real kind of cinematic story, and you want color. You need color in there, Sometimes you want color. Do you ever feel that way, man? Like sometimes you want color in the stuff that you have. Like you love black and white more, but you want color as well. Especially since it's your stuff, and you don't know, like people don't know what the colors of things are in your world, right? Sometimes I feel that way, Drawn Sword. Let's see. I'm like, I wish, maybe there was some color right there. You do feel that way sometimes, like a little bit of color? Like you want to look, like your barbarian world, like what would it look like? What's the color look like? Like when I think of Elric, like I don't think I could show too much of this because there's a lot of rated R content in here. I have to like maybe look for pages that aren't rated. It's another reason why I haven't got around to reviewing this. It's got a lot of type of stuff, but when Michael Moorcock saw this, he thought that this is like better than what he designed, what they did with this world. Okay, let me think here. I think I might be able to get away with this. Let's see. Oh, maybe not. Let's see. Well, anyways, there's not much color in this world. Like there's like Melniboné, right there. It's really dark. And when you're listening to the Michael Moorcock stuff, it's not that dark. There's lots of colors, dude. They have it's like a rainbow, And then, but when Moorcock read this, he's like, yeah, this is better than what I thought of. And in a way, I understand what he's saying too, But when you're reading it, it's more colorful, and there's, But in a way, this is more appropriate. And they said they took designs like inspiration from Clive Barker, which I think it's kind of perfect for the Melnibonéans in a way. That shit's fucking dope. But they did take some license, like Strata. I think that's the name of this beast, you know. And here it's like a, I don't know, when he talks to Strata, it's a man, and in here it's this big beast, like that. Yeah, ooh, gotta be careful. A lot of stuff in there. Let's see here. Yeah, because I do so much black and white, I get cravings to do color, and cracked out the acrylics last weekend and started a fantasy painting. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying, dude. Like I'm talking about like Frazetta and stuff like that. That's why I almost feel that like there has to be a way where you get some color in there sometimes, right? For your stuff, or like definitely the covers, right? Like the covers, the front and back cover. Maybe put out a poster for your book. Maybe fucking squeeze like something in the middle, man, like a fold out thing that really represents the world and the story, or something like that, you know? I don't know. Definitely the front and back covers though. People know what your world looked like. But at the same time, you know, a colored book might be cool sometimes. Yeah, a lot of the guys talk about that. I've noticed too that are doing sword and sorcery. You know, color is fun sometimes. And there's ways too that you can like I always talk about, like I want to do things more like a limited color palette. But there's ways you could do limited, but you can also add on some gradients and things like that to where it's not so basic either, you know. It just, I guess, really depends on the type of world that you want to make. Do you want to have a lot of vast color? Like for me, when I'm listening to like in the stories of Elric, there's a lot of color in there, bro. Like especially Melniboné, it has like crazy towers, and the characters wear like some really bright yellows and greens and stuff. And so when I'm looking at the books, I'm like, you know, I see where they're going with this, but I kind of think it's cool when it's more like hippie gothic with the little Barker thrown in. That's how I was thinking about this. Like if I drew this shit would be fucking like a rainbow, bro. I would have a bunch of different colors in here, you know, be like a lava lamp. Yeah, it would be. There's something kind of spooky and trippy and scary in a way with a lot of the colors of the rainbow, you know. Like it can be happy, don't get me wrong, but it could also be kind of terrifying in a way. Like when you're overdosing or something, there's just too much color, you know. And so I think that there's some of that in there with Elric, and then all the chaos and all that shit. I also feel the same way with like kind of with Conan when he goes on those ethereal trips. Yeah, it's, I don't know. I like them both. I really do. Color and black and white. I like black and white a little more, but color is pretty cool, dude. Here I am yapping. Yappity yap. Let's see, maybe I can do a long one right here. Touch this up a little. Yeah, you do that painting. Say you're doing it, put out a comic for your world. You have that painted cover or the colored cover. You got that back cover. Maybe even the inside cover should be colored too, and the back. You could do 4 different like things that have to do with the world or some of the characters, and then something in the middle, man. Something in the middle or something. Yeah, it doesn't matter, but maybe a double page spread. Or, dude, you know what would be great is if you do a French fold cover, bro. You know about French fold covers? How they just kind of keep folding out on the back and in the front. So you get like, you get 4 covers basically in the front, like front and back, and then in the back, front and back. So you get like 8. That, dude, I think that's where it's at, brother. I think that's where it's at. Right? You do a couple, each issue, do some floppies, and then you get French fold covers. I remember the first comic book I saw that inspired me to make my comic, Butch Cleaver, was a dude that was selling his books at the comic book store. I went there to pick up my comics, and he had a French fold cover, and I have it somewhere. I'm like, where'd you get this printed? And he's like, oh, I got it printed with Print Ninja. And, you know, those things are expensive. They're from China, right? But it's a big company from China. But the idea is a good idea for black and white comics, bro. Because you can really get some colored pieces. You can get 8 colored pieces. Dude. And it's so obvious, right? You just got to, you know, pick the right things to have in there. That's eight colored pages, front and back of covers that you can really, you know, you can have like a location or a scene from the story that's very seminal to that story, or you can have a character design that's like the color of them, like of their layout, you know, like what they look like. I think that's where it's at, bro. Let's see here. Drawn sword to cover makes sense with the nice painting, suits the genre, and black and white interiors. Yeah, wrap around cover. Yeah, dude, the French folds. I think the French folds, bro. I think I'm onto something with that. And floppy too, because I think you can get those pretty cheap. I haven't seen a French fold cover in forever since that book I bought. It was just like a zombie apocalypse book too. And I remember at the time when I got it, this was like 2015. It was 10 years ago. The guy had the French fold cover of his floppy. I'm like, what's this? He's like, that's a French fold cover. I'm like, oh shit. Where'd you print this? Oh, a Print Ninja, China. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go look at that. Sure enough, I went on their website and they got everything on there, but a lot of it's expensive. Leather bound comic books, French fold comic books, metal. Yeah. So I think it's the French fold. And he what his French fold is, it folded out, but it was basically like a dude fighting a bunch of zombies that folded out under the front part of the cover, you know. See, Marvel did the odd one in the front. Yeah. So the front cover folds out all the way, and then the back cover folds out all the way. So in theory, you have basically I think 4 images, if I'm not mistaken, in the front and 4 images in the back of cover. I think so. 1, 2, yeah. One, you have two images on the front and 2 images at the back of the front cover, 2 images on the front and 2 images on the back of the back cover. So that's eight color images that you could do per comic. So you could really flesh out your world that way, your sword and sorcery world, and have all the interiors be black and white. And if you want to get really, really stingy with it, then you can add a centerfold in the middle of the book with color as well. Then, you know, that's pushing it. But the French fold, French fold floppy or magazine style. I think a French fold magazine would be really at a good rate. I think that's what I want to do. And you can even, you can put concept art in there too. Like it doesn't even have to be the same artist or the same kind of in a tasteful, artistic way of the way that you're doing pre-press or just doing book layout. I think it could be really cool, you know? Oh yeah. You can also do your whole artist gallery like that if you wanted to, or you could do, say if you did a whole 6 issues or something and you had every, maybe like, you know, a character like turnarounds and character concept art that could all be in there in color. A lot of options with the French folds. I'm gonna start looking into that Friday tonight. That's not a bad idea, because that'll definitely like fulfill like a lot of our itches for color, dude. A lot of us want to color our books but we don't want to have it all the shit colored. But eight colored cover spots, dude. That's awesome, bro. Not only that, dude. Imagine. Like you have the cover and say you wanted to do your like this, you know, it's going to fold out open like that, just the front cover. And it's going to be like double the length. It's going to be like, dude, it's going to be long. It's going to be a fold out long cover like that. And the same thing with the back of the book. You're going to fold it. It's going to come down like that. So you can have a whole long, like tall person or a long battle sequence or a long map that unfolds out of the back. You know, you can literally put the back cover or the front inside cover could be the map of where the character's at, and it could fold out long like you're reading the quest on the journey. You know, that's pretty sick, dude. I'm liking these ideas. French fold. French fold. Things always come back around. Everything's a big fucking circle. French fold. A lot of people don't do those though. That's what I'm saying. The French folds, you gotta look into that. I'm gonna. A little bit of this. Been yapping a lot tonight, but that's okay. Getting some ideas, right? I should have been done with this already, but that's okay. The ideas are coming through, not only about this, but printing, and it's important, man. It's important, especially for us that want more color in some of our comics. That's a cool way to do it. Because they're always talking about putting original art as well. For people that do only digital, they can put a bunch of original art in the French fold and just in the cover, the fold out front and back cover. They could have the inside all digital. So that's a good way to kind of do that as well. And it's always gonna stick out more if it's in a cover and it's folding out. It's gonna be pretty relevant, important. So that's another thing to think about for the French fold out. See, I'm doing master sheets, photocopy comics when I'm ready, cheap, and simple fold and staple to order. Ooh, that's cool. I like that. No, that's cool. I like that. I like the feel of those comics sometimes too. The cover, nice and kind of zany, you know. Usually like a thick kind of cardstocky cover. Right. Get the other pen out. I've been yapping for a long old time. It's almost 2 hours. I didn't even notice that. I thought it was like maybe an hour. Time flies when you're having a good time, folks. Yeah. There we go. Right? Thanks, guys, for stopping by. I hope you're having a good weekend, too. I know I am. This thing's almost done. Thinking about doing that. I kind of want to do that Doomsday piece a little bit, but I don't know. I'm not sold on it for sure. Do something. Yeah, next year I want to do conventions, t-shirts, web store. I want to sell artwork. It's going to be the big focus of next year, 2027. This year's almost halfway over, I think. I mean, I might try to get. No, it's pretty much kind of halfway over in some regards. You got to kind of have your shit up, start lining your stuff up in like right now for next year, you know, or at least in like, because after the holiday, like once you're in the holidays, it's too late, right? So kind of like, August, you know, because once you get into September, it's like back to school, and then October, it's kind of already Halloween, and then out of nowhere, it's November. That's Christmas. Sorry, that's Thanksgiving. You're done. So you pretty much got to start up before Halloween. You want to start thinking about what you're going to do like in August, September. Start planning out the next year in August and start planning out the next year in August and September. I think that's a good idea. There's a lot of shows around here too that I could probably be selling my books at, like horror conventions and stuff. I'm sure a lot of those guys like Sword and Sorcery, you know. There was a pretty cool Sword and Sorcery convention too out here for like Lord of the Rings. Was it they were telling me about. Elijah Wood was there. They had some band there. I forgot who it was. I missed it. Missed a lot of the dope shit. Howard Days. I want to go there. Missed that too. So do creators still sell do-it-yourself Kinko type comics and shops and stuff? It's weird, man, that you say that. You literally have to go like up by Hollywood and like Culver City and that type of area where there's a lot of hipsters. And this was like fucking bro, this was like 2016, 2017 at the latest that I was going around up and I was taking my books. Even let me put my Butch Cleaver book in there. It was only zines. Like they were really snobby hipster dudes. Really nice store, perfectly organized. They only had fucking zines and books like yours like that. So there's one place that's like that for sure. You know. So yeah, regular comics shops. It depends on the shop, dude. You know. You want to call them and talk to them, and then a lot of times you could be like, hey, let me do a signing in here so I could. You know, I'll give you a couple books. You could, you know, we'll split the profits in half, and I can really talk to your clientele about my book. That way, you know, you're making money, I'm making money. It's a win-win situation. You know, you're basically there trying to advertise your book. You're putting your book name out there. You're building awareness, and that's the most important thing. You need to just let people know. So if you can even get into a store and not sell any books, but at least talk to people about them, that's a good thing. But you ultimately want to get books in hands. You know, just marketing. You're just basically marketing your book and getting. You know, you want the whole world to be saying the name of your book, even either they're buying it or not. You want your book in the ether, so getting into stores is very important. I was trying to do that back then a lot. There's a lot of stores out here where I live. All of them are within like a 2-hour distance. It's funny too, because a lot of them are like 30 minutes away or less, but with traffic out here in LA, it's fucking nuts. Everything takes 2 hours to get to. But it's kind of annoying too. I remember one day though, I think I took a week off and I tried to hit up as many stores as I could. I hit up like fucking 15 stores at the time trying to get Butch Cleaver in there, and it was hard. Half of them let me do it though. Half of them didn't. Yeah. Even my old comic store, like the ones that I my spot, dude. Even I tried to get in there. I had done, I think, 4 store signings in there over like 10 years, and then they were hella cool. And then I tried to do it again. I'm like, sorry, we're not doing that no more, man. I'm like, all right, that's cool. You can fuck off then. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. Glad you let me do it before, but you know, why can't I do it now? Of course, they had like a lot of problems with theft in that store, like a lot. They were on TMZ and shit for people stealing their shit, so they were kind of uptight about it. But yeah, I don't know, man. You let me do it before, and now you don't want to. It's fucked up, you know. So I got pretty fucking butthurt about that, to be honest. So there was that, and then they wouldn't order no Conan comics. So I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna come here anymore. Then I'll just go somewhere else. And I had already bought a lifetime membership with those motherfuckers. So I was pretty pissed. I ain't gonna lie, I was a little butthurt too because I thought we were homies because I had known the guy for like 10 years and shit. That shit pissed me off. And then every time I tried to go in there, he had another dude working in there, and I tried to add things onto my pull list, and the dude be like, "Oh, sorry, I don't know how to do it." Like, and you know, I go in there probably in the last hour when they're about to close, but it's like, bro, there ain't nobody in here. You're just kind of waiting to lock the doors, so just fucking put the shit on my pull list. You know, I'm like making you money, dude. Like, you shouldn't be doing this. You need my business. So I was getting butthurt, bro. That shit was pissing me off. But I digress. Drawn Sword. In the 90s, in New Zealand, comic shops had a whole shelf sometimes for do-it-yourself comics from all around the country. Yeah, dude. No, you know what, bro? I'm gonna be hitting the road like for sure once I get Hell War up, and if I get enough Hell War printed comics, I'm gonna be hitting up a gang of stores. You know, because like I said, that was like 10 years ago, right? And I remember taking Butch Cleaver in there. I'm like, yeah, this is my comic. You know, it's very, very 90s. And those dudes are real snobby. You know, it's like, this is what it's inspired by. You know, it's spaghetti westerns, you know, old comics, 90s comics, just everything I love. You know, I'm just talking about. He's like, yeah, I'm sure it is. All snobby as fuck. I'm like, whatever, motherfucker. You know, and like, I think indie comics, they should be allowed to, like, I'm gonna be real, bro. I think our indie comics should have a space on the shelf for a year. You know, it doesn't matter, bro. Like they're not gonna lose any money. They're not gonna lose money. I know they get 100 books a week, but fuck them. Like, give me that spot because the shit sells out and they got to move their shit back and forth. I already know the game. I've been in like fucking dozens and dozens of comic book stores. You know, it's not gonna hurt to have a couple indie books. They just need an indie section, dude. You need it. You need to show that you care about comic books and you care about your local scene and supporting said scene. You know, it's dumb to not do that. It's real retarded. But I think there's probably more now, dude. I think that there would probably be more. It's just probably where I live, in the city I live, in the store that I'm at now. That store. But the other store I go to, they don't do indie shit either. They're like, nah, they're all uptight and shit. But there's probably more like over in like Hollywood and like that type of area, you know? They're a little more laid back, I hate to say, like, I don't know, there's just probably more about like support your local, you know, artists and creators, you know. So there's probably more up by like Hollywood area, that type of stuff. A little more liberal, you know. That's one good thing about the liberal people. They're a little more into the arts, you know. Some of the comic stores, I'm not saying they're not liberal, but they're just more kind of over, like they're over it. To be honest, you go in the store and you see these motherfuckers, you see their faces, they're like over it, dude. You know? It's like if you're into comics, don't work at a comic book store, man. You're going to be fucking tired of it real quick. and that tire is going to be all over your face, and you're going to be seeing it selling that to the customers, you know, and they don't get paid shit either. You know, it's a tough thing. It's tough, but it is what it is, man. You have to. It is what it is. You have to support the local people, man. You have to you got to carve out a section for them. Give them a year. Let them sell their shit, and then, you know, let them come in, dude, and sell their books. Yeah, and then my old local store, dude. They would have big ass like fucking. He would do big indie shows, bro. On Free Comic Day, he'd bring in like 20 indie artists, bro, and let them all set up in the store, and we would sell tons of books, and dude, it was perfect. Now he went to zero. Now he's got tables just filled with bullshit on them. Like, dude, get that shit out of here. It's cluttered, bro. You know, like let us sell some books and clean up your shit. You know, it looks like a general store now. It needs to look. Comic stores need to look cool and like sexy, bro. They need to look nice. When you go in there, they need to look like you want to hang out there. There's this one called Attack of the Shop or something like that. I think it's in like up past Hollywood, right? And they got like a big pinball machine room, a big one in the back. They got like booths in there. You could buy beer and chill and read your comics. They have a lot of producers and stuff and actors go there and chill and hang out and get beer and read comics, you know. But it's fucking cool. It's a comic store. Anybody can go there. I think it's in like Westwood or some shit. But what's his name went there? Adam Lawson. He does these. He's a writer in the scene, and he does a lot of these videos where he goes around and he goes to different comic book stores. And he's a director, dude. Everybody knows it. He's a director, and he goes to all these different fucking comic book stores. And that was one of them. I was like, dude, that fucking store is cool. You know? My main thing is like, let me get my book in your store for a month at least, bro. And let me do a signing. So I can at least, because if I can get in your store, I'm going to sell some books. I'm simply going to sell books. Even if I have trash books, I'm going to sell it. I'm going to stand there the whole time. I'm not going to sit down. I'm going to bark at you, and I'm going to fucking, respectively, I'm going to push my book on you. That's the only way you can do it. You have to talk to people, man. You got to like let them touch it too and look at the book, you know. If they don't like it, they can put it down, or they can just walk by and tell you to fuck off. And the same goes with the conventions too. You got to bark at people. Like you got to. It's just like when you're advertising your crowdfund or you're launching a book. You have to go into salesman mode. You have to take your artist hat off, and you got to put on the salesman hat and just start selling your book. No one's gonna do it for you. No one cares. You know. Are the head shops still around? Heard of a few real indie comic cons in the States that seem, yeah, they're around here. And there's a tattoo parlors. You can do that. There's a lot of opportunities for me out here, dude. I'm just a dumb fuck. I need to just kind of get in the car and just drive around. There's a lot, dude. There's a lot. And there's just head shops you could probably get in regardless, you know, like just fucking usually ran by like Middle Easterns. Some of them will probably let you shit get in there, you know. But yeah, they're not the typical head shops anymore. Now they're more just like kind of a little different, dude. They're a little more corpo. You also got the weed shops too, and they're very corpo. They don't have that hippie vibe. You know, they don't got the little statues of Gandalf with the Balrog and Smaug in them. You know, they don't got the heat, the lava lamps and the posters. You know, with the blacklight posters. There used to be more of those. There isn't really any. Dude, there is a black metal store, though. I will tell you, though, dude, the record store I would go to, he let me put my comics in there, dude. And I was selling a couple of them. And I told him, you know what? Give some of these out, bro. Give them out. And then I gave him a T-shirt, too. You know what I'm saying? And whenever you can give some out, like some that are like kind of dented up and fucked up, give them away. Let people read them, you know? Yeah. So record stores are not off the table. Head shops are not off the table. Comic stores, obviously, and also tattoo shops, man. People can read your comic while they're getting a big old tramp stamp put on their back, you know? Ooh, what's this? Crom the Barbarian? Okay. Ooh, you know? Bzzz, ooh. You know? Hey, can I throw a comic books, you know, little thing in here? Can I put my book in here, a little stand? Buy one of those little like dollar fucking book stands that they have that are like wire form. I don't have any in here, but you could like put a fat stack of your books in there and just have them stick it on their counter. I don't have one. I used to have a bunch of them. They sell them at Michael's, dude. They're like $1. You could stack like 20 books in there, and just they could put it right on their counter for $1, dude. Yeah, and just tell them like, hey, you want to go half and half on this, and then I can come in here and like do a signing, even if it's a head shop. The head shop though would have to be somewhere like kind of popular, like maybe somewhere down in like, I don't know, somewhere where people might buy the comics. A lot of places too in California are kind of like trashy now, dude. So a lot of homeless people shitting all over the place. Like back in the day, you could go down to like Venice, Santa Monica, those type of places. Some places maybe in Hollywood, not all the part. Hollywood's massive, but there's a lot of spots. You'd want to hit up the beach cities too. Maybe like Huntington Beach, that type of stuff. But even now, dude, it's just not the same anymore. It's pretty bad. Let's see here. Wow, BM must have got pretty big there. That's a cool place. A record store here used to sell this dude's Conan prints. Oh, really? Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta have a fire, But getting turned down, getting rejected, it gets annoying, dude. It kind of zaps at the soul a little bit. It just gets annoying, dude. No, sorry, don't want your shit in here. And then you'll see books that are like, dude, like you're selling this book in here. It's like, I know my art sucks, but it ain't any worse than this shit. I'm sorry, but my shit is not is any worse than this. Why are you selling books with art like this? And I know the story isn't as good either, but you won't give me like, hey, dude, fuck you, bro. That's how I felt, dude. I still feel that way. Sometimes I see art where I'm like, dude, that's my shit's just as good as that, or my shit's even better. Well, and then you're selling their shit. Fuck you, bro. Like I get mad. It's like, give me a chance, dude. So after a while of getting like loading up your car and driving all over the place, you're just like, fuck. It gets annoying. But you got to do it, man. You got to have a thick skin and just got to do it. It's just I've been waiting for a better product. I think, and I know Hell Wars is better. It's going to be something a little more original too. No matter how I, present it as far as print production goes. And the next book will be better. And the next book will be better, And then they'll maybe go, oh, okay. Yeah, okay, why not? Or no, fuck you. You can't have that here. Yeah. It's also funner too, like if you have someone with you in the car, when you're doing it by yourself, it kind of sucks. But now we have like podcasts and things like that. I can just listen to that shit and just drive everywhere. If I'm by myself, it won't be as annoying. Yeah. But I just feel like a lot of people that work at the stores are just too lazy to put a little spot, One of the guys, I told him, can I just hang it can I hang it from a string from the ceiling? Like just tape it to the, put some tape on there and just hang it from the ceiling. Can I tape it to the ceiling? Because they already told me no, and I was just like, all right, fuck them, One guy was a dick. He was just a dick. He's like, your book sucks. He's like, what the fuck is this? And he's like reading it, the dialogue. And I'm thinking, yeah, you know what? You're right. And then now, like, then I start looking at the fucking woke books, and I'm like, dude, my shit's way better than this. My shit sucks, and it's better than this. This shit's fucking propaganda, bro. So you just have to kind of like trust yourself and believe in yourself. It's sad. It really is. It's like, who's buying this? Someone's gonna like your work out there. One man's trash is another man's treasure. Even like, dude, yeah, this some of the comics now are so bad, dude. I'd rather like look at a stick figure with a good story that isn't woke propaganda than that, And I wasn't drawing no stick figures either. Like, fuck off, guys. It's like, I don't know, man. People just most of them don't want to give a guy a shot, but some of them do, man. And those are the and one of the shops was really nice, dude. I was really privileged to get in there. I was like, fuck yeah. They made me sign a contract. It was real bougie, you know, over in the art district. But I had so many books that like I didn't even check up on them. I never went back. Because the thing is, your books are not going to sell inside the store by themselves. You know, they might sell a little bit, but they're not. You have to go in there and you have to do signings. Even though you're a nobody, you have to do signings. And they call it a signing. It's not really signing. It's just you peddling your wares there, like a snake oil salesman, and pimping your book and putting your book out there and letting people know about you and your book, and shaking their hand and showing them. Then that's how you sell books. You know, people look at it like, it's okay. The art's a little rough, man. The art's a little rough. Like, okay, well, thanks for giving me the time. I appreciate it, you know. So you could do that, you know. And then people will buy it. Like, oh, that looks cool. I like that. I'm going to buy that. Yeah, I'll buy that. Thank you. Hell yeah. Here's my business card. You need any commissions? Stuff like that, you know. That's how you meet people, build your name up. You know, and most people, you know, probably won't like your book. Let's see. I took my comic to the shop in the 90s and the owner bought 10 copies off me. What an encouragement. Yeah, that's fucking awesome. That never happened to me. That's fucking sick, dude. Yeah, that's dope. The dude, when I went in there, man, he was so cool in the beginning. I sold a bunch of books. I sold about 100 Butch Cleaver books. And it was just, I think it was issue 1 and 2 or something like that. It was just that one store, dude. And that's how I knew if I could have gotten at other stores and talked to people, then I could sell the book. But that was the only store I could get in, you know. And for some reason, the con that I would go to, like people, it was hard to talk to them. Like people were just walking around. They were just cosplaying. They weren't really there to buy comics. And I was sitting next to Marv Wolfman. And he was like, fuck, this place sucks. Like he wasn't selling anything. He was mad. You know, my buddy went over there and bought me a Blade comic, House of Dracula, for $100. You know, and I'm like, dude, I'm sitting next to the creator of Blade and Deathstroke and Teen Titans. He ain't selling shit either. That's another reason why I wanted to like, I'm excited to kind of go to the conventions because, dude, the comic book conventions are really big in like the Midwest and the East Coast of America. You know, like people like comics there, and like the out where like Bruegel lives, if you're still here, guys, the Crom creators, they have a lot of indie cons over there. They have indie comic book conventions. We don't got any of that shit out here, as far as I know. Yeah, it could be really discouraging though, man. But you just gotta kind of keep pushing forward. You know, people are gonna tell you your shit sucks, and you know, and some, you know, your shit might suck a little too. But you gotta just like use that and kind of you know, move on from it. Because at the time, dude, my shit did suck, my shit did stink, and it still does. But it just doesn't suck, and it doesn't stink as bad as it used to. You know, and you get a little, you know, I got a little more confidence. You'll get a little more. But one thing that I'll never like is the whole like you do got to give people chances, bro. And a lot of these stores, they could do it, bro. They could do it. You could literally bring a little fold out table and sell your wares there. There's not it's not a big problem. It's not going to hurt them. You could do cash. You can have I had the little Stripe thing where you just scan debit cards. I was right into your phone, dude. You know, you can get tons of sales like that. Tons. Yeah. Those stores, they needed to be a little bit more lenient, dude, with indie. I'll just go ahead and say that, like LCSs, they needed to have more signings for indie artists. They should all be up on that shit. Because who are the ones that are gonna be around in the future? You know, like we are. You know, who's gonna be putting out the new Ninja Turtles? Probably we are, you know. So you don't want to gatekeep us too much. Got to let us get in there. It's like that for a lot of industries, man, especially in the arts. There's a lot of these industries in the arts where people are fucking older cats are kind of gatekeeping it. They're not letting the younger guys come in. But the thing is, you're gatekeeping, but you're also dying off at the same time. So while you're gatekeeping, you're dying off. Your generation is, and a lot of the younger generation hasn't came in yet. So you got to kind of let us in. I was listening to Billy Corgan and Danny Elfman talking about that, like the whole classical like industry of music. They don't want to bring in Elfman a lot, but it's like, dude, a lot of people go to his shows and they could bring Elfman's audience over to classical music. They won't do it, and it's mostly like 80-year-olds in there, and Elfman's like 70, so you don't want to bring his 70-year-old ass in there, and most of them are like 80, dude. Like, you got to bring in a new audience, man. You got to give people new shots. Stop fucking sitting on the gate, dude. Stop keeping your fucking heels on the gate. Lift that shit up. Let us in. Bring in some fresh shit. I hate to say it, man, but it is what it is. Even if you don't like it, like same thing with like those. Like I'm not a big fan, but it needs to happen. That movie Backrooms and Obsession. Those are newer cats making those movies, dude. And the new audience, these kids, they want to go watch that shit, and it's helping the movie industry. The sales are up compared to for the last 7 years. It is what it is. Kids want their own shit. It is what it is. Not all of us like Absolute Batman. I kind of did in the beginning, but then I kind of fell off. But that's bringing in a lot of sales. It's on its 10th printing. A lot of that is from the variant market, and that is a market. It's a respected market. And it is helping the comic book industry. A lot of people don't think it is, but I think it is. Unfortunately, but it is. A lot of stuff, man. A lot of stuff to think about. But we gotta keep staying on our art, man. We gotta keep creating. We gotta keep making stories. Our shit's important, man. We're living in a weird time right now, and we need to create our versions of what's going on in the world, but told through a fun format. In this time, we're living in a crazy time in the world right now. We need to get our stories out. It's the best way we can. Comics are the perfect medium to do that. It's great to help process, And that's what artists do. They process everything. A lot of us don't really hold on to much, but we process a lot of shit. And we turn it into art. Yeah. Let's see, I got a little more of this in there. Maybe not. I'll probably wait. Yeah. Let's see here. The comic industry could all go down hard, and then the real passionate will find a way to keep the craft going underground. Yeah, that's, dude, that could happen, man. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm surprised that it hasn't happened, to be honest with you. Just the way that it's been. It's crazy. Especially now with YouTube. And like, even if you don't have YouTube, people could find you on like Rumble and BitChute, and but like if I get kicked off here, I'll move over to Rumble. I'll keep moving around. You have to for your art. I'll go on TikTok. I'll go everywhere. Because you have to show yourself. You have to show your art, dude. And then once you get big enough, you could put out a piece like this. You could do it live, or you get faster. Most people are faster than me. I'm a slow fuck. But then you could sell it at the end of the stream, or maybe even do like an auction at the end of the stream of the said piece, and then while you guys were hanging out. I think maybe even I wonder if Whatnot will let you do that. Just go on there like, hey man, I'm gonna draw for like 4 hours and then sell the piece after. I'm gonna auction it off. Can I do that? I think that would be kind of smart, But I don't really know all the technicalities around Whatnot. But I know it's an auction site, and if you can go on there and stream live your art and just auction it right there, I think it's kind of brilliant, because that site it's made for selling. It's a selling site. It's an auction site, So you could, create some dope art and sell it right there. Man, people are bidding on it. I'll take $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. You know what I mean? Oh, $7,000, $8,000. You know, you're like, damn, I was gonna sell that for $100. I just sold it for $7,000. Wouldn't that be crazy? You sell a piece that's worth like $100, maybe $50. You sell it for like a few grand. Maybe there's somebody that's like not really into comics, but they're into like art. They just like collecting original art. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah. Lots of good ideas, man. Lots of good ideas tonight. I think I am gonna head out though. I've been yapping a while, but it was fun. It's fun hanging out tonight, man. I need to do more night streams. Got to figure out what I'm gonna be drawing tomorrow, but I'm pretty much done with this. There's a couple more little spattered things, maybe a few more rocks I might draw, but other than that, I'm pretty much done. Maybe a little more blood. As far as I know, yeah, I think that's about it. Oh man. But I'm probably gonna go watch my show Dark Winds for a little bit. And head out. You guys keep making your comics. Do not stop, no matter what, no matter how hard it gets, no matter who pisses you off, no matter who puts you in the mud that day and stomps on your head. Get up, wipe that shit off, and keep going. Do not stop making your comics or your art for anybody. Anyone tries to stop you, don't let them get in your way. Fuck them. Keep making it. Keep going. Don't look back. You're not going that way. Yeah. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for the yak. They call cognac out here. Hey, man, let me get some of that yak, homie. They call cognac yak. Oh, sorry. Yakking. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for stopping by. It was good. It's good yapping with you, bro. And yeah, keep making the art, guys. I'm gonna try to do another stream tomorrow too, in the morning or in the afternoon, and more this week too. I'm gonna be doing some more streams this week too, or at least in Monday, Tuesday time. Yeah. But thanks for stopping by, guys. Always remember to be bold, be brave, and roll the bones to know your role. I'll see you guys on the next stream. God bless.